opposing principles. God dominates all.
The Lord of the worlds created impurity of the soul as well as piety. But he did not guide people toward impurity, only toward piety. This is a very important concept.
There's no concept of original sin. Adam asked for God's forgiveness immediately after committing his offense. He asked God to pardon him, and God pardoned him. End of story. When Muslims say, Inshallah, it's an expression of resignation, because they are convinced that God creates men, has them die, draws them to him, and surrounds them with his mercy. This is not an assertion that God directs their lives. They are not machines. Most of the Quran insists on the liberty and responsibility of man.
موسى كليم الله فكان ساير في طريقه وعابر على الناقة على جبل موسى متجه فوجد واحد حراث بيحرث قال يا موسى أنا بحرث من غير مطر وبرمي غلة في الأرض فأسأل الله أن في مطر والله ما فيش فراح موسى يكلم ربه وسأله قال له عبدك فلان بيحرث وسألني في مطر ولا ما فيش قال له ما فيش مطر يا موسى فرجع موسى من الجبل اللي بيكلم ربه عليه وفات على البدوي قال له يا ما تحرثش ربك بيقول ما فيش مطر ومشي في طريقه صار في طريقه وهذا فضل يحرث قال والله هو قال ما فيش مطر أنا حارث ومتوكل على الله للجمل بتاعه ربنا أكرمه بالمطر وصار عنده الزرع وموسى رجع عليه بعدين لقي عنده أرض يعني زارعة فقال له يا ربي أنت خليتني أكذب قال تأدب يا موسى لا يقصدني عبد ويخيب لازم من قصدني أعطيه فالراجل بعد أنت ما مشيت توكل علي ورزقته بالمطر.
The Messiah, also known as Jesus, he was the first Messiah. It is a word that appears in the Quran. He was a prophet like any other.
ولكن القرآن يرى
But the Quran considers that the Christians committed a grave error in deifying Christ, in considering him as a god, rather than as a mere prophet.
Islam insists that he was not crucified. They slew him not, nor crucified him, but it appeared so unto them.
It's interesting, in fact, to know that Mary is mentioned by name far more often in the Quran than in the New Testament, and certain aspects of the life of Mary are fleshed out in the Quran in a way that is not familiar to us from the biblical material.
Immortality in Sunni Islam is an immortality that involves the complete resurrection of the body and the soul, whether it is for an eternity in heaven or in hell.
Heaven and hell do not yet exist. They will appear on the ruins of this world. Just as we made the first creation, we will start over again. The day will come when the heavens and earth will be changed.
Sexual relations take place between the inhabitants of heaven and the Huri. We don't know how many of them there will be. 40, maybe 70, depending on the author. But there definitely is a more fulfilling and intense sexual activity.
Back in Mecca, protected by his social standing, Mohammed's safety was secure. So the Quraysh targeted those among his company who were the poorest and most vulnerable, foreigners or slaves like Bilal, those who possessed neither the glory of lineage nor the prestige of wealth.
فمنا الذين آمنوا لاقوا العذاب الشديد لاقوا عذاب شديد جدا حتى أن السيدة سمية رضي الله عنها وزوجها ياسر قتلهم أبو جهل يده بحربة قتلهم وكذلك بلال رضي الله عنه لاقى من العذاب ما لاقاه أيضا في الصحراء كانوا يضعون على صدره الصخر الكبير ويقول أحد أحد فلما رأى باقي المسلمين هذا العذاب استأذنوا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى الهجرة إلى الحبشة كانوا عددهم 8 من الرجال و2 من النساء وكانت هجرتهم في شهر رجب فلما وصلوا إلى شاطئ البحر استأجروا سفينة أقلتهم إلى بلاد الحبشة لأنهم علموا أن هناك فيها ملك صالح وهو آمن بعد أنه هو النجاشي فمكثوا في بلاد الحبشة حوالي 3 أشهر.
Among the believers, the strongest men asked the Prophet to allow them to defend themselves by fighting the Quraysh. The Prophet answered, I have not received the command to fight.
To those who had been tortured before his eyes in Mecca, Bilal, Sumayyah, and Yasser, the Prophet said, Be patient, your place is in paradise. He did not say to their son Ammar, Avenge your father and your mother.
The pagan nobles of Quraysh couldn't believe the news coming from Abyssinia, that Negus, the king of this African country, was willing to receive the delegation rushed to him by Mohammed and led by his young cousin Jafar. The Meccans in turn sent a mission demanding that the rebels be turned over to them. Jafar was able to win the king over with a touching plea, preserved in the Chronicles of the period.
حينما حدثه عن الإسلام قال أيها الملك كنا قوما أهل جاهلية نعبد الأصنام ونأكل الميتة ونأتي الفواحش ونقطع الرحم ونسيء الجوار هذه هي الجاهلية حتى بعث الله فينا رجلا نعرف أمانته وصدقه وعفافه ونسبه فدعانا إلى الله لنعبده ونوحده ونخلع ما كان يعبد آباؤنا من الحجارة والأوثان وأمرنا بصدق الحديث وأداء الأمانة وصلة الرحم وحسن الجوار والكف عن المحارم والدماء كأن هذا هو الإسلام.
Like his great predecessors, Muhammad endured tragedy and tribulation, but the famous incident of the satanic verses is unique in the history of religion. Everyone knows about Moses' anger in breaking the tablets of the commandments, about Jesus' revolt against the silence of God on the Mount of Olives. In this case, the spirit of evil commands the prophet to say something other than what God actually revealed to him.